Hi, this is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we are currently live in the breakout room. So, welcome and welcome, and we love being here for you with quality and value to inspire and to transform. Remember, we are on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and iTunes. Today, as usual, we have a special guest to share with you for your development and growth and to live your better informed life. So, grab a cup, pull up a seat, and stay tuned for the introduction. Right here, now, live in the breakout room. It's the place for health, happiness, and prosperity. Stay tuned. Our next guest in the breakout room is a prolific writer and is busy working on songs, screenplay, and upcoming books. Her name is Angela Urams. This is our guest. She has written publications such as Sammy the Cell and The Healthy Ones. And her latest is entitled Sneaky Sophie and the Token Fairy. Her passion. She has provided written content for a wide range of categories, including children's literature, product marketing, songwriting, and screenwriting. She enjoys content creation and directing animated shorts. So, let's welcome this prolific and fruitful writer, Angela Urams, live in the breakout room. Hi, people. This is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we are currently live in the breakout room with our special guest. So, let's welcome her into the studio. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Andy. How are
How
you?
are you? How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in. This is a real special time because it's the first time that I've actually had have someone come on the show that is specializing in children's books and dealing with animated stuff and screenplays and screenwriting and product marketing and children's literature and that kind of stuff. How did you get involved in that field? How did it become your passion? Because I believe there's some level of passion that you have shown in your writing thus far. How did it happen for you?
Well, Andy, I've always been interested in creating things
Uh
ever
huh.
since I was a child. I like to joke about my first publication being when I was in kindergarten.
Uh huh.
Um, I was in a publication called Creative Minds. And I remember the teacher came up to different students and said, "Tell me a story, give me a story." And so, we were kindergarten, so we weren't great writers at that time, but I remember
Yeah.
telling the
Yeah.
story to the teacher, and she was writing it down, and the title of the story was My Day at the Beach. And after telling this story, they pick one student from every grade, and then they publish it in this book called Creative Minds. And they'd picked my story. And the funny thing was, I had never gone to the beach before, but
Okay.
it was something that I had imagined, and I was just able to tell that story as if I had been there. And so that's when my creativity, I think, sparked as an early age.
Okay. Great. You spoke about your imagination because you didn't have the experience in reality of going to the beach.
Right.
So, in terms of your inspiration, does it come from an idea that you get, or are there things that you observe about life, about children, about fantasy stuff, and then you get that idea birthed, so you do your writing?
Absolutely. I think that you look at the
Mhm.
world around you, and I
Mhm.
think you just get ideas. You're inspired by things that you see. And the latest book that I wrote, Sneaky Sophie, is kind of based on that
Yeah.
childhood imagination, that limitless mentality of, well, I can just do anything. The world is out there.
Wow. But you know what? That kind of is a mindset that I think a whole lot of big folks could have as well. There are a lot of people that sort of curtail their progress by thinking about all the challenges rather than all the opportunities that are there in the challenges. Okay, so what is the basic story behind the new book? Let's deal with that first. Sneaky Sophie and the Token Fairy. I have a general idea, but tell our people from your perspective as a writer the general
Sure.
idea behind the book.
Absolutely. So I'll start off by just showing you the cover of the book. It's
Yeah.
not in print yet.
Okay,
Um,
great. Yeah.
it will be available on Amazon later this fall.
Uh
So
huh.
Amazon's the primary way to get it.
Right.
So Sneaky Sophie is a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and she realizes that whenever she loses a tooth, she
Yeah.
gets a token from the token fairy.
Right.
And in this book, the token fairy is not her mom or her dad. It's actually a physical fairy, a person
Mm-hmm.
who
Mm-hmm.
comes in and gives children a token
Yeah.
uh, once they've lost a tooth. So Sophie realizes that she likes getting tokens,
Mm-hmm.
and she does whatever she needs to do to get more tokens from the token fairy.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go too much further into the book without without ruining it. But in
All right.
essence, she runs into a problem
Uh huh.
after wanting so many tokens. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm very touched by what I saw here in your information with regards to encourage kids to be their best selves. What is the real message that you want children to have in terms of identifying that quality that you think would make them you heard me?
Yes, I did. Thank you. So the book itself comes in a kit.
Uh-huh.
So it's a box kit,
Yeah.
um, and it comes with the book, and then it comes with a drawstring bag from the
Uh-huh.
token fairy,
Yeah.
and then it comes with some tokens. And there are
Oh.
two different types of tokens that come in the kit.
Wow. Uh-huh.
The first token is for whenever a child loses a tooth,
Mm-hmm.
and it says on the back of that token, losing a tooth is worth the wait. This is a gift to celebrate. So
Yeah.
whenever a child loses a tooth, the parent or the token fairy can leave the child this token. And
Mm-hmm.
the other token has a star, and on the other side it
Mm-hmm.
says, for thoughtful acts or kind words spoken, you have earned the special token. And
Wow.
so this token is a token of encouragement for children to do good things, to think beyond themselves, and to do things for others. And I think in this day and age, I think it's easy for not just children, adults as well, to say,
Yeah.
me, I want, I don't
Mm.
have. And sometimes when we can think outside of ourselves and think about doing something for others, in return, we actually end up having more because we have that feeling
Yeah.
of fulfillment because we've
Yeah.
thought about somebody.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Angela. I get the message, and it's a powerful one. And
Mhm.
it is a universal one, and it's necessary. Tell me, how much have you seen your influence in the lives of kids, children, your main target market, if I could use that term, that you reach out to? What kind of impact have you seen communities that read your books and get in touch with the message that you want them to get from your publication?
Sure. Well, this book itself is not out, but just in talking with parents
Uh
and
huh.
talking with educators and in previous works, I
Mm-hmm.
think that when children can relate to the content that they're hearing,
Yeah.
then they have that connection and they're more likely to feel involved versus somebody talking at the child or saying, you
Okay.
must do this or you must do
Right.
that. So I
Right.
think when children feel like they can relate to a character or when they feel connected to something, that's when they're more likely to feel ownership and say, yeah, I can make a change and this makes me feel good versus
All right.
somebody telling you that you have to do it.
Okay, great. Kind of give us an idea of the stuff that you would have done before. I was only able to get one in my research, but I get the feeling that you may have done other stuff before. Could you help us with that?
Yeah, sure. A while ago, a long time ago, I wrote a book, Send Me the Sound and the Healthy Ones. That was a while ago.
Right. Yeah.
And it was basically, my background is in nursing
Mm-hmm.
as well. And so it was just that encouragement in children to
Yeah.
eat better and to do
Oh,
better, and that
okay.
you can be part of a team and can feel stronger when you do those encouraging behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am still writing. I have another slew of things that I'm working on right now.
Right. Right.
A lot of them are in children's content. Some of them I can't fully go into yet.
Okay. Okay.
I am working on a comic book right now. But I've always been interested in children's literature. I think Dr. Seuss was
Oh,
one of
yeah.
my
Okay. Yeah.
inspirations.
Uh-huh.
The way he was able to mold words.
Mm-hmm.
This so Sneaky Sophie and the Token Fairy is a rhyming book, and so
Okay.
I think that having that connection and the way Dr. Seuss was able to connect to its readers, I hope that my writing as well can connect to those readers.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Angela.
Thank you.
What is the greatest message that you would like the children to receive, and by extension, the world? Because I'm getting so much good stuff out of what you're saying in terms of being able to understand that it is more feasible or rewarding to give than to receive. And that's a great message. A whole
Thank
lot
you.
of people are involved with the me, I syndrome. But if you had one single message that you want to put out there, that you want people to really pay attention to, especially for the future, what would
Sure.
that message be?
Sure. I think it's the time old, not my saying, but the time old, be the difference that you want to see in this world.
Ah, I hear
Be
that.
that difference. Um, I think that, there's so much in media, so much in the news. Turn on the TV, turn on your computer, turn on your phone, and sometimes it's negative, 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 and it can weigh so heavy on us.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think that if we can look within ourselves and look at those areas of light in our lives that make us happy,
Hmm.
dwell on those things, focus on those things. Yes, we're still in this world. Focus on those things that make us happy and bring us light, and we can now contribute back with that positive as we are still dealing with what
Yeah.
what all that we're experiencing in the world. So
Yeah.
be that
Yeah.
change.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Angela. That's a powerful message.
Thank you.
So, in terms of the future, in terms of your vision for the future,
Yes.
where do you envisage yourself going? And is there many more works to come, more books, more children's series, stuff like that?
I hope so. I really hope so. I enjoy writing.
Uh-huh.
Um, I would love to direct or produce one day.
Hmm.
Um, anything, I mean, I can relate as well to adult material, but there's something about the unique nature of children, I think,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
inspires me.
Yeah.
And there's so much growth and there's so much learning. And I think there's so much that we as adults can learn from children. And there's so much that I learn
Okay. I hear
from
you.
children. So
Right.
it never stops. And I just say, you never stop learning. You never stop learning. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you shared that your background is in nursing. Yeah.
Yes.
What inspired you to get into that profession, and are you still involved in nursing in any way at all?
um, yes, I am here and there.
Uh huh.
I'm primarily writing right now. I
Okay.
think my parents,
Mm-hmm.
my parents are Nigerian, and so they very much had a strong work ethic, and they lean towards the sciences. But what
Uh
I
huh.
appreciate is that they said, we think that you would be good in this. We
All
think that
right.
you would be a good nurse, and I thank my parents for encouraging me to do that because I feel like I was able to serve in that way. And they said, do that because we think that you would be able to contribute in this way. And then if there's anything else you want to do, you can still do that. And so
Mm-hmm.
they never said you are just one thing. And so with that, and I think that having that background in nursing has it has opened my eyes to different experiences,
Yeah.
people who are unlike you, and being able to say we are all people at the end of the day. We are all
Huh.
people. We have the same feelings. We have the same
Mm-hmm.
moods. We go through the same issues.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm able to give back in my writing in that way. So
Wow. That's powerful, Angela. Thanks for sharing. That's wonderful.
thank you.
Okay, great. So, in terms of the work that you do, you said you want to be probably directing later on and so on, but are you currently working on any stuff like songs, screenplay and stuff, that kind of thing?
Yes, and I can't go into detail with regards
Details,
to
yeah.
the
Yeah.
name of the work, but
That's
I'm
all right.
working on animated
Mm-hmm.
scripts right now, and then
Mm-hmm.
songs that coincide with those animated scripts.
Okay,
So
great. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to do.
All right. Would you at one point in time have the desire to see your stuff being involved in some sort of curriculum, maybe in some of the junior schools and stuff like that, where it can be part of the learning process, the educational process, the standard educational process and learning for children? Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, absolutely. That would be great.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything, anything that can mold minds, that can create. And I think that um, there's that feeling that, oh, well, I don't know how to draw and I don't know
Hmm.
how to write or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But any child, any human being can create,
Right.
any brain can create. And so
Hmm.
I think it's that encouragement and being exposed to it. And so I would love to have my my work, of course, in any sort of educational program.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Angela. Now, in terms of what you do, are you involved with any community organizations, let's say non-government, that are working with youths and so on, and they may ask you to come in, share some stuff from your book, or just talk to the children, inspire them, motivate them? Are you involved in any of those?
I currently not. I'm new to California in
Uh
this
huh.
area, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have in the past. I've read previous books
Mm-hmm.
in daycares and schools, and just having children sit and listen to any book by any
Yeah.
author.
Yeah.
It's a connecting, and it's a moment where that child can sit and delve into a world and delve into a story
Mm-hmm.
that's not in their own world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I would love to be more involved in the community here in California. But yeah, definitely, I'm open to those
Great.
opportunities.
Great. Wonderful. You said that your folks are Nigerian.
Hmm.
Wow. I'm really curious about Nigerian culture, and I've got a friend by the name of Anthony Mururi. I don't know if
Hmm.
you know that name. He's a popular speaker, writer, and stuff. And
Okay.
he told me a lot of interesting things about the culture and the people. How were you able to merge that kind of culture together with what you're doing currently now in the States? And you were originally living in Texas, yeah?
Yes,
Right.
correct.
Yeah, great. So how do you combine the two cultures together, and that maybe help you to be inspired to do some of the stuff you're doing now?
Sure. I think that naturally, Africans and also Nigerians are very entrepreneurial
Mm-hmm.
people. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that there's always been that in me that you can do, you can create. What do you
Yeah.
want to do? The
Yeah.
world is here. And so having parents who are Nigerian, I think uh, growing up in that background, which is funny because the basis of the Sneaky Sophie and the Token Fairy,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a concept in American culture of the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And growing up with Nigerian parents, I had friends
Mm-hmm.
in that culture whose parents would give them money for losing
Yeah.
a tooth if they put the
Yeah.
tooth under their pillow, and I would put a tooth under my pillow, and then in the morning there would be nothing there.
Wow.
And so, you know, and that was not my parents' culture. They didn't
Mm,
that, and it's not that they didn't like it or that they didn't want it. It's just that wasn't part of our culture growing up.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think that was also one of my inspiring points of this story, is that, you know, this token that goes out can be given to any child, and parents don't have to scramble around for money to put. But now any child from any background, from any country,
Hmm.
their parents in reading this book can now also be a part of this type of culture.
All right, great. Um, so the message is strongly for the children in terms of, you know, having the opportunity through your writing and your work to discover their best selves. But is there also a hidden message in there for the parents as well, in terms of how they gather together as a family and do these things that would send valuable lessons to the children in their education and their growth and their nurturing?
Absolutely. And I joke about it, but I'm kind of serious when I
Yeah.
say, you know, these tokens, you know, for good
Uh,
deeds are were
uh-huh.
made for children, but adults can be given tokens as
Right.
well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
and there are times where, you know, if you're around any children, anytime a child does something that's unexpected,
Mm-hmm.
that was from them,
Yeah.
there's a feeling that you get where it's like, wow, like this child did this. Nobody
Uh-huh.
prompted them to do this. They did this on
Yeah.
their own. And I think that adults will absolutely learn from their children through this
Mm-hmm.
book, I think.
Okay. Great. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Angela.
Thank
Now,
you.
in terms of going forward, um, you have some goals, you have some things that you want to accomplish. Are you international? Maybe even back to Nigeria per se, and reach out to children out there? Because I think that your message to me personally is universal, and it can reach so many people out there, particularly the young ones who may be easier to uh, not really bend, but learn and educate in terms of the good virtuous stuff that they should have. But are you seeing that as an opportunity, let's say a market for your stuff to go international?
I hope so. I
Yeah,
really hope
yeah,
so,
yeah.
because I do believe that the child is universal. A child's
All right,
needs are universal. A
all
child's
right.
wants are universal. And
Mm-hmm,
so I would absolutely want to be able to give back
mm-hmm.
and be an example for children in Nigeria, for children in Africa, to see
Yeah,
that, oh, it can be done.
yes,
And, you know, I think many countries are influenced by American culture and also by
yeah,
American
yeah,
media. And
yeah.
so when I think you see somebody who looks like you, who's able to do things, maybe they want to do things even bigger than the things that you want to
Mm-hmm,
do, you
mm-hmm.
know, I know there are children out there who have bigger dreams than me.
Right.
And if they can see me and do those things, sky's the limit.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much. Folks, you've been listening to Angela Orams in the breakout room speaking about her work, her stuff, the things that she does that she believes can make a difference in the lives of children and their parents as well. We will go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue our enlightening conversation with Angela. Thank you so much. Stand by. FindRadioGuest.com, the place to click to find guests to interview for free. And if you're a radio show booker, podcaster, talk show host, or television producer, then this is the place to get podcasts and radio interviews or promote your books and products as a guest expert sponsor. FindRadioGuest.com. Check it out. Hi, people. This is a special invitation for you to join our community. Yes, we're inviting you to join our community for 2022. What's in store? Well, what we want is your feedback on our content and our guests, but more so on what you need to be inspired and transformed from your current condition to one of happiness, health, and prosperity. So drop us a line and reach out. Help us to better help you achieve your goals. So, people, inbox me at www.facebook.com/mddreamer/. That's www.facebook.com/mddreamer/. Or send me an email at lovebitsa@gmail.com. That's lovebitsa@gmail.com. We love hearing from you as we build our partnership in growth and development, and we look forward to your communicating. Help us to help you to live a better life in personal growth and development from Andy's Personal Development. We love you. We look forward to hearing from you. See you soon. Bye for now. Okay, so we are live back in the breakout room with Angela Orams, and we are speaking about Sneaky Sophie and the Token Fairy and lots of other stuff that she's been doing. Angela, tell us, do you also write other stuff for, let's say, other age groups and so on? Have you done that before?
I have the piece that I'm working on right now. It's a
Hmm.
comic book, and so it's for a little bit older
Yeah.
audience. It's for about teenagers,
Okay.
and so I'm not finished with that yet. And
All
hopefully, I
right.
can come back on your show and talk about that whenever
Hopefully, yeah.
that one's done.
All right. Okay,
But
great. Looking
yeah,
forward to it.
thank
So,
you.
Angela, there are so many things that are happening in the world today, and we have challenges. The governments have challenges, the nations have challenges, people in communities have challenges.
Yes,
We are in a sort of post COVID period.
sure.
Economies worldwide are taking a hit.
Yeah,
People are still trying to recover and get uh, the new norm, so to speak, as
right,
we say. What
right.
would be the one thing that you would love to see happen in the world in terms of a sign of relief, a sign of hope? Or maybe there is, but it's not being heralded enough, it's not been highlighted enough.
Sure.
What's that one thing would be for you?
Sure. I think that one of the things that we're seeing in everyday media is just challenge, and opposition.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes it's I like white, I like black, I like
Mm,
green, I like
yeah,
blue.
yeah, yeah.
And if we can stop looking for the things that make us different
Mm-hmm.
and start leaning into those things that make us alike.
Yeah.
And you will find that there are more things that unite us
Mm-hmm.
than cause us to be different.
Wow.
And I just, it's, and media is good. It's so good
Okay.
because it
Okay.
can educate, but media also carries some negativity when
Mm-hmm.
we delve and focus on and all of the negative. And I think it's important for us to see what's out there and to know
Yeah.
what's out there. So it's
Yeah.
important to see sometimes that negative and that contrast. But I feel like if we can focus more on how can we come together, because we are all
Mm.
humans on this planet Earth.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So if we can lean more into those things and lean into those groups and areas that allow us to be united, then we don't have time to focus on those things that sometimes are irrelevant, that we choose to focus on our contrasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be my dream for us to just one day focus on, hey, we are all humans living on what can we do together to just
Yeah.
all be happy together?
All right. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Angela. That's really wonderful. Thanks for sharing. You know, as we move along day to day in life, we all have our personal challenges, and I guess at the end of the day, it's how you see yourself engaging in those challenges, how you manage your emotions,
Yes.
and the outlook that you have. But I like the idea that you think that the world needs to be able to look at what we have more in common than what takes us apart. I personally believe that the only barriers are geographical and the
Yes.
others are the ones that we create for ourselves. I
Of
mean, I
course.
could be wrong, but this is just the impression that I
Of
get
course.
at the best of times. Okay, so in terms of your personal growth and your personal development, um, how do you see what you're doing, uh, being a part of your personal growth itself, being put out there, and you're saying, you know what, this is what makes me, Angela, unique, and I'm just trying to share it with the world. Does that message go along with you, coincide with what you're trying to put out there?
I hope so. I think I think it's I think it's always easy to see people in that snapshot of time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's here with Andy talking and she's sharing her book,
Uh huh.
but they're not seeing a snapshot of where was she 5 years ago? Where was she 10 years
Mm,
ago? What was her
yeah.
background?
Yeah.
And I think that, and in anything that we see on TV, we're looking at snapshots where
Mm-hmm.
it is now. And
Yeah.
we have to understand that we are all people who have all gone through some sort of struggle, who've
Yeah.
always had some sort of resistance at any point in any form in
Mm-hmm.
life. And so I think that, I've always wanted to write the Sammy the Cell and the Healthy Ones. That was years ago
Yeah.
when that book came out. And it didn't stop me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stop writing. That book is not in publication or circulation right now, but
Okay.
it didn't stop me from writing.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still continued on with life,
Mm-hmm.
but when we face challenges in life, look inward, surround yourself with those things that give you joy, that give you light, knowing that, yes, I'm still facing whatever I'm facing in this world. And it could
Mm-hmm.
be as little as I just turned on the TV and saw something that really is depressing.
Yeah.
But, you
Yeah.
know, get your news, get what you need, then step away and say, who am I? What do
Mm-hmm.
I want? What makes me happy? What brings me joy? And I feel like those gifts that we've been given,
Yeah.
we didn't as babies say, oh, I want this and I want this
Nope.
gift and I want
Nope.
this.
Nope. Nope.
They were gifts that were given to us.
Yeah.
And so we have them in us. And those are the things that drive us, that give us passion, whatever in whatever form they are. And
Yeah.
so move towards those passions. And
Mm-hmm.
you could be working as a construction worker, but have a dream to write, and you can still do both. And
Yeah.
allow that experience of construction to inspire you in your writing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a firm of belief that you're not just made just to do that one thing. And sometimes you do one big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people see, but there are other things that you also can do that maybe
Yeah.
people don't notice, but all of those things contribute to who you are as a person.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Wonderful. Inspiring. It reminds me of something that we do in our profession, and we call it, um, the swan syndrome. And it's real simple. I mean, when you look at a swan on a lake, right? It looks all pompous and serene and relaxed. And it's like a calm scenario all around. You could hardly see a ripple in the water. But should you take a look under the water, under the body of the swan in the water, you'd realize that both feet are paddling furiously. So you're not seeing the effort, you're not
Yes.
seeing the pain, you're not seeing the work,
Yes.
you're not seeing the commitment. You're
Yes.
just seeing a finished product and it looks all nice, but you need to appreciate that what is happening underneath is responsible for the image that you're seeing on
Right.
top. And I get that. It's a wonderful message.
Right.
Thanks for sharing, Angela.
Thank you.
I have a thought in my mind, and I'm thinking about the influence that your work could do in terms of what is happening coming out of Hollywood. There's so many children's network out there, and I've seen a lot of stuff on them, and sometimes I get turned off. And I'm being honest by what I see on the children's network, and I'm wondering what that stuff is doing there. What's the value in that stuff? What is going to add to the life of the kids? What message is it sending? But I feel that somehow you have a desire to make that kind of impact. And I'm thinking, is there any plans in the future for you to get into that mainstream scenario where your message, inspirational as it is, can be part of the scenario in Hollywood and wherever that market is available?
Andy, I truly hope so.
Yeah,
I truly hope so. That
it's a
would be
good hope.
wonderful.
It's a good
That
hope.
that would be wonderful.
I think it's
Yeah.
necessary. I think your stuff needs to be there. It needs to be up there because it listen, it brings me back to a place where I remember when family was family and family values were so important. And I'm thinking we seem to be losing that in the world today. But your
Right.
message reminds me that there's still hope. And
Right.
that is why I feel that if it gets into that mainstream scenario, it can also project that kind of hope
Yes.
and a new light so that people
Yes.
could see, hey, you know what? All is not lost.
Right.
Angela can
Right.
still inspire us to do good stuff. So I'm looking forward and I'm hoping that you get that opportunity.
Thank you.
So,
I would love to.
Angela, what's your favorite pastime thing that you enjoy doing? Do you read any books per se in particular?
It's funny because I'm asked that a lot.
Uh huh.
I do read right now because I'm doing writing.
Yeah.
My mind switches to different modes.
Okay.
Um, um, I One of my favorite books is The Seven Habits of Highly Successful People,
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that. Good
and
book.
I like it because it has similar themes to just. I remember there was one story where it talked about a man who was on a bus and he was just sitting in his seat
Mm-hmm.
and his children were running loose on the bus, and how people were critical of the man, saying,
Yeah.
he should get his children under control. Why is
Mm-hmm.
he letting his children run here?
Yeah.
And then the author of the book mentioned that the people didn't realize that the man had just gotten news that his wife had passed away. And so he was sitting on the bus in that scenario, not knowing what to do, and um, not knowing how to handle the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember reading that story and I remember it was eye opening because it was like, yeah, anyone could be like, yeah, get a hold of your
Yeah.
children. Why are you
Yeah.
letting, but when you stop and you take yourself out of your situation and you put
Mm-hmm.
yourself in somebody else's situation,
Yeah.
I think it allows us to see the world in a different way. And I think it gives
That's
us
right.
better understanding.
Yeah.
And I think it also allows us to be more tolerant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is not me advocating that children should run around.
No, no, I know that. I know that. It's a good message. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good message.
So, yeah, I think if we can, in those moments, and sometimes it's hard because you don't want to put yourself in somebody else's situation.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want to
yeah.
say, I am right. I know I'm right. And I know that there's no other result. But I
Mm-hmm.
think when we can sometimes say, you know what? I don't know why that person did what they did. I don't know what they're experiencing, but if I can just for a moment try to imagine all of these possible things that might be happening in this person's life, then
Yeah,
maybe that will help me to calm down a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Wow, yeah. Some form of empathy is necessary sometimes, and I think that we forget that because we're so caught up and so busy in the stuff that we are doing,
Yes.
and we kind of find it hard to place ourselves in other people's shoes.
Yes.
But if we were there, we'd want somebody to understand what we are going through
Right.
and appreciate the challenges that we have.
Right.
Hey, Angela, thank you for sharing. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So tell me something in terms of um, pastime stuff that you do. There are a couple questions that I ask my guests, and it's a little fun and
Mhm.
sometimes it's a little eye opening.
Mhm.
For you, is it baseball or the NFL?
I don't want to put myself in trouble here.
Oh my.
Um, um, and
Wow.
there's no other options, huh?
No. Well, America think that baseball is their favorite pastime, but then nobody beats Sunday night or Monday night or Tuesday night football.
Well, that's true. I
Yeah.
don't know. Oh, next question. No.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. This one should be a little easier,
Mhm.
right? Is it ham and cheese or peanut butter and jelly?
Oh,
Mm,
well, maybe ham and cheese for me.
interesting. Ham and cheese. And I wonder why.
I grew up eating peanut butter, and I grew up eating both types of sandwiches,
Mm-hmm.
but I think right now I'm a ham and cheese.
Okay, wonderful, great. So finally, one
Yeah.
more.
Yes.
This is about motor cars.
Okay.
Is it Ford or Mercedes?
Oh wow.
One is American and one is German.
Wow. Well, wow.
Hmm. Wow, indeed.
I will go with the Ford. I'll go with
Ah,
the good old reliable Ford.
all right. I hear you. I thank you. Thank you so much, Angela. It has been indeed a wonderful pleasure sharing this moment and the times that we have had on the program. I know there's a lot of inspirational and valuable stuff that you have shared,
Thank you.
and I've really enjoyed our conversation. So now what I'm going to do is give you about a minute as we come to the end of the episode to tell people how they can make contact with you, because one thing I wanted to find out is if you're involved in any public speaking engagements. Are you?
Um, I am not currently yet,
Hmm.
um, but people can contact me at the token fairy at
Hmm.
gmail.com. That's
Right.
the token fairy at gmail.com.
Uh, right.
And then
Uh-huh.
this is what the book is going to look like. It's going to be on
Hmm.
Amazon
Yeah.
this fall.
Hmm.
Um, I think it would make a great Christmas gift
Yeah.
for anyone. You don't have to have children yourself. You can
Hmm.
gift it to someone who do has children, or if you know of any adults who might need some
Yeah. Yeah.
some tokens for good deeds.
That's right.
Um, but yeah, that's the book, and then you can also get more information as it gets closer to time for the book launch at sneakysophie.com.
Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. Are there any final things that you'd like to say to people out there?
Yeah, never stop dreaming.
Hmm.
No matter how hard it gets, no matter how heavy it seems, never stop dreaming. Look inside, think of all of the things that make you happy and all of the things that bring you joy, and lean into those things and figure out how to incorporate those things into the life that you're currently living. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing. That's a great message to end on. We have been in the breakout room on Andy's personal development with Angela Orams, speaking about Sneaky Sophie and the Token Fairy. Look out for it coming this fall. As she said, it could be a wonderful Christmas present.
Yes, on Amazon.
I'd like to add to what you spoke so admirably about in terms of the value and the virtues that you have seen, that you've experienced and that you have shared with people and put into the publication. And I'm thinking that for me, it's like a manual for innocence, because I
Thank
think
you.
that is the greatest virtue that children have in
Thank you.
terms of the way that they look at the world. They don't go accusing and pointing fingers like some of us do as the adults. And that's, to me, that's the most powerful message. And the expectation of getting the token, wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And it really underscores the point of giving instead of receiving, and seeing how someone feels when you give something into their life of value, and they say, wow, you've been thinking about me, you appreciate me. That's so
Yes.
wonderful. So thank you. It has been amazing, Angela.
Thank you,
Truly,
Andy.
truly, truly amazing. So
Thank
as we come to the end, we'd like to say thank you guys for looking on. We had a couple people in the audience, and I see a thumbs up there, so I know someone is liking what you are saying, and that will continue to go, you know, along the way to help us to do the work that we are doing right here on Andy's personal development.
you.
So
Yes.
I'd like to say a shout out to John Campbell. He's my brother-in-law, and today is his birthday. Happy birthday to you, bro. Hope that you're having lots of fun and good stuff, and that you're staying safe and enjoying it. And many, 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 many good wishes and blessings coming to you from me, your brother in law. Thank you for marrying my sister. So here's the thing. Also, remember my new publication is coming out today on Amazon. It's entitled Stick Out in a Crowd, The Awakening. Stick Out in a Crowd, The Awakening on Amazon. You can check out that on my author page, or you can go in the ebook section and get that publication. So, the star of the show has been Angela. And so we want to say thank you so much for coming on and sharing your time with us and your wonderful inspiration and the stuff you're doing with Sneaky Sophie and the Token Fairy. Until
Thank you.
next time, this is
Thank you.
Andy of Andy's Personal Development saying so long, Godspeed, Namaste. Stay safe out there, guys, and continue to seek health, happiness, and prosperity. Stay with me, Angela. I'll be with you shortly.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
Good.